you're looking for some thrills. Oh man, that was not good. Anyways. Hello. This is the intro to this video, as you can probably tell. I actually filmed the intro to this video a while ago, and upon, editing, I noticed, what did I notice? Say it with me now. I know, I'm sure y'all are familiar with me by now to know what I'm about to say. It was blurry. Yep. Oh my God. There's something wrong with my camera. I really don't know what's going on, why it's always so fucking blurry. Maybe I'm just done with cameras. I don't know. But here I am in my car, once again, filming on my phone. What can I say? Filming in my car is like kind of nice. I'm kind of into it. This is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Okay. As you can tell from the title of this video, this is me trying out thrillers. I'm finally doing it. One of my goals for 2021 was to diversify my genres, and one of that being thrillers. I don't read thrillers, not intentionally. I don't think I'm like intentionally avoiding thrillers. I just don't tend to pick them up, and I really wanted to see what all the hype was about. I feel like thrillers is a pretty popular genre here on BookTube, so I wanted to see what's going on. What's happening in the land of thrillers. So this is going to be a multi-part series. I have at least 3 videos planned, including this one, but I might do some more. But this is going to be called Thriller Taste Test. Woohoo! This video is where I will be reading 3 really popular thrillers, and I don't have the books anymore because I filmed the vlog portion of this like a week ago. I finished reading this stuff like a while ago, and I unhauled 2 of the books that I had and returned the other one to the library. So let's talk about the 3 books that I'm reading for this video. The first one is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, a extremely popular thriller. It has a whole movie adaptation that's extremely popular as well. This follows a couple where the wife has disappeared and the husband is trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe he's potentially the person that did something to his wife. There's a whole thing going on there. The other book that I'm going to be reading is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This also has a adaptation, a movie. I don't think that the movie's really popular, but I know the book is. That one follows a woman who takes the same train every day, and she always the train pauses in front of these houses, and she always sees this couple on the balcony whenever she pauses, frequently when the train pauses in that location, and she's kind of made up like a whole imaginary life for them. And then she witnesses something, but it's fleeting because the train starts moving again, and she's trying to figure out what's happening, what's going on, and she kind of gets meddlesome, and she's kind of an unreliable narrator, and there's just all this stuff going on with that. And the final book that I will be reading for this video is Big Little Lies. This one's also extremely popular. It's by Liane Moriarty. It has a very popular HBO adaptation, a TV series that I am kind of interested in watching at some point in time. I don't know when. I just finished reading the book like a week and a half ago, so it might be a while. That one follows 3 women. We have, oh shoot, Miranda? No. Starts with an M. I did this later in the vlog. I forgot this lady's name too. We have her, we have Celeste, and we have Jane, I think, and they are all kind of involved. There's a thing, something happens. Something happens in all of these books, doesn't it? I've lost the thread of this synopsis. I kind of can't remember how to explain it. I can't look it up right now because I'm filming on my phone. But sorry for this extremely chaotic intro. Those are the 3 books that I'll be reading. And yeah. Okay, enjoy the vlog. Bye! Hello. welcome to the vlog portion of this video. As of right now, I have not actually filmed the intro to this video, so I don't know what I said. But anyways, hello. It is Tuesday, March 16th, perhaps. I'm not really sure, but we're kickstarting this thriller vlog. I'm getting my thrill on, if you will. My plan is to start off with Gone Girl. I haven't started reading it yet. I just downloaded it from my library on my Kindle. Oh, here's my Kindle with all these random stickers. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, I'm ready for white suburban nonsense, if you feel me, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm ready for that white suburban nonsense, which I feel like is probably going to be all three of the books that I'm reading. So there's that. Yes. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying now. Okay, I'm a little bit into this book. And Nick sucks. Like, I mean, I kind of knew that was going to be the case. I've never seen the movie, but I think I know, like, the ending. I just don't have any of the context, really. But, he's just talking about how Amy always does these, well, let me tell you, I mean, in case you don't know what this is about. Well, I don't even really know what this is about yet, but so far we have two characters. We have Nick and Amy who are married. The start of the book is from Nick's perspective. It is the day of their 5th anniversary. We get Amy's perspective in the form of her journal entries. So I just read one of hers, and it was from 2005 when she first met Nick. So now it's back to Nick's perspective, and he's talking about, like, how apparently Amy gets too involved with their anniversary and always does, like, this scavenger hunt type of thing where she has, like, him go around to, like, different spots, like, gives him riddles that lead him to spots that were, like, significant to them, but he doesn't remember shit. Like, I think this line just sums it up perfectly. It was enough to be near her and hear her talk. It didn't always matter what she was saying. It should have, but it didn't. Trash! Hello. It is the next day now. Yes, I'm wearing the same sweater as yesterday. Ignore that. But anyways, I am about 70% into Gone Girl now. I meant to do more of a update yesterday, but I kind of got suckered into this book, and I didn't really take a pause to update y'all on my thoughts. But I'm 70% of the way through. The kind of big, I think the only big twist, I'm not done with this book yet, that Amy is setting up Nick. I mean, that's the spoiler that I knew already, just from being online and people really enjoying the movie. I kind of knew that already. I was just missing a lot of the context behind it. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this book so far. I was really invested in the story for, like, the first 50%, but then once the reveal happened, it's kind of slow. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious how this is gonna end, and, like, kind of like what the purpose of this story was, because I spent, like, the first, like, 50% of this book hating Nick, and even though I knew that Amy was setting him up, I thought she had a really good reason. Here's the catch. Amy is wild. She is kind of psychopathic, low-key. I mean, she's very narcissistic. I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but my God, I was not expecting all of this. Basically, all of the stories about her getting stalked and that situation where she said that she was raped in the 8 months between when she first met Nick and then they actually started dating was all fake, presumably. At least that's the story we're getting from the people who are being accused or who were accused of this. So I yeah, I don't know. Amy's wild. I don't like her. I didn't even really like her that much to begin with, even from the diary entries, even though that was set up to make her look a lot more innocent than she is. But man, that's wild. And I don't like that the narrative is making me feel a little bit sympathetic towards Nick, because I hate Nick too. This dude sucks, and I hate how he, like, you know, he is a victim in the situation that, like, you know, Amy is setting him up and framing him, but I don't like that he's, like, kind of being vindicated. It's like, oh, all this time of me hating her and me being extremely misogynistic and emotionally manipulative and abusive was all good because this girl was crazy the whole time. It's kind of like the vibe I'm getting from him right now, and it's like, dude, you sucked, and I don't like that this whole situation is vindicating him now. You know, I don't like that at all, because I don't know, is he ever gonna come to any sort of learned lesson? I don't know, probably not. Not that this is the way that you should be teaching someone a lesson by any means. I mean, it's just pretty wild, and, like, she does not give a fuck about her parents either, which, I mean, like, I guess is kind of understandable, because it seems like they, like, really put this whole, like, amazing Amy ideal on her, and she, like, had a really weird situation growing up. But damn, this is extreme, you know what I'm saying? This is very extreme, so I'm very curious to see how this ends. I thought there was the part, like, that first chapter when it switches and we see like the real Amy. I thought the whole thing about being a cool girl and, you know, like, what men want was, like, really interesting, and I thought maybe it was, like, trying to say something about, like, not like other girls. But, like, even despite that, I feel like real Amy is still kind of, like, doing the not like other girls situation. Like, well, I mean, I guess it's just, like, her whole personality is that she's obsessed with, like, perfection or whatever, but she just keeps making kind of, like, internalistically misogynistic remarks. I don't know, it's just weird. This is all weird. This is, like, so far beyond relatable to me. Like, none of these people are within the realm of relatable. I mean, not that the situation's relatable, but I'm sure there are people who are, like, identifying parts of different people. I don't know. I have 30% left of this book. I am very curious to see how it ends. It's kind of slowing down. I'm not enjoying this last third as much as the first, like, half of the book, so we'll see how that goes. But wow, wild indeed. Anyway, I'm gonna go make lunch. So hello, it's the next day. I just got done filming the intro for this video and another video, which is why I actually look decent for once in these vlogs. But anyway, I finished Gone Girl yesterday, and I have such conflicted feelings about this book, because on one hand, it's, like, technically really good. Like, I think the way it was set up, and it's well written for the most part, but everything, like, came together well, right? But I don't know, something about this is just not, like, quite clicking for me. Let's talk about Amy, because I knew about the cool girl speech and the fact that she was setting up Nick it spoiled for me from the movies, and I've seen even, like, a clip of the cool girl speech. So I had no context for, like, why she was setting him up or the cool girl speech or anything like that. I just didn't have any context for it. So I came in with a very different idea of what was going on than it was. And it's like, Amy is, I mean, she's kind of nuts. Like, I was not expecting just, like, everything to be a lie. Like, when it hit the 50% mark and we've read the last of the journal entries from her diary, and it switches to her, like, on the run, and she was like, oh, I've been setting up this diary for, like, the last 7 years. Like, this is all fake. I was I was like, okay, this is a little sus, but also like, okay, like let me see what's going on here. Like I was still at that point very willing to be on her side because I'm like, yeah, fuck men, you know what I'm saying? So I was like here for it. But then everything just kind of like, you know, came together, and it just like everything about her is like, she's so wild. You know, here's the thing. It's like, I feel like I wanted like her to lean into the evilness a little bit more. I know that sounds a little bit weird, but I wanted her to lean into the evilness a little bit more because just like she is so smart, right? She's an incredibly clever person. And it's like at the end of the day, she did all of this for what? You know, for a man? For not even like a cool dude. Like she did all of this for a really boring, mundane schlub of a man. You know what I'm saying? Like sure, he might be attractive or whatever, but like he hates women, you know? Like he hates women. He sucks. Like he's so boring. You know, it's just like you did all of this and then you end up with him again. Like, what? And you force him into this situation. It's just, I mean, what? You know? Like, you don't even kill him? I don't know. I was just like, where is this story going? Like, you did all of that at the, I just, you know, it was kind of pathetic, you know? It was just kind of pathetic. I felt like, there was all of this huge buildup and it just didn't hit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm disappointed by that. I will also say, like, I think it's interesting the fact that she so easily sheds these personalities, and like, you know, she's obviously deeply impacted by the fact that her parents wrote a children's series that became very popular based on her, kind of, or their idealized version of her, and that very obviously affected her growing up. But I will say, like, I am not, once again, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but it definitely seems like she's like has narcissism and also maybe like a psychopath or something. I don't know, because all of this is just so extreme, right? Like this is just like not how a normal person would interact with finding out that your husband cheats on you. And then for it to go nowhere, I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just felt weird because at the end of the day, and here's the thing. When I was reading that cool girl speech, I was like, yeah, like, I fucks with this. Like, I get it. Whatever, you go, girl. But I felt like all of that, like, feminist speech that happened, like, kind of went out the drain the farther we got along in the book and we found out more about her, because it's like, you are still striving to be well liked by everyone. You want everyone to think that you're perfect. You think that you're the perfect woman, right? But what is this perfection? Who's defining what this perfection is? At the end of the day, you're still striving to be the ideal that's been set up by a patriarchal society, right? So it just didn't feel, it felt like fake, you know? Like it lost its impact, I feel like, by the rest of the story. I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place with this book. I'm just kind of shook because I think it's like a technically well-crafted book, but I don't like where it went, or like. And here's the thing, this is another thing. Like I said, obviously I'm new to the thriller genre, so I don't really know how to engage as a reader with this genre, right? Because like I have a hard time turning off the like critical reader part of my brain, and I don't know, you know, I do that often with romance. Like it's very easy for me to just like head empty when I'm reading romance, because I'm reading romance for the entertainment of it, not for the like critical, like intense literary stuff of it. You know what I'm saying? But with thriller, I don't know, like, I feel like thriller might be a similar genre where people just read it for the entertainment and not necessarily for critique of real life, you know? So I don't know how to engage with this because there is a mystery element, right, to a lot of these thrillers. So it's like already working my brain. So I don't really know how to engage with this. And on top of that, like, it felt like Gillian Flynn was trying to do something with this, right? Like, she was trying to, like, what was the point of the cool girl speech? Like, I don't know. It felt like maybe she was trying to, like, push a message or, like, tell us a message. But I don't know what that message is supposed to be. Like, is this at the end of the day just a story between two really messed up people? Or was I supposed to glean something out of this? I don't know. Like, I'm feeling very all over the place about this book. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know which of the two next that I'm gonna read, but I will come back to y'all when I have something to say.
Hello, it is I from bed. I have no plans of leaving this spot today, so I figure, I'll just vlog from here as well. It's been a few days since I last spoke with y'all. I have since started. Can you even see this? I'm reading The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I am a little over 100 pages now, and let me just tell y'all, I'm struggling. I am struggling with this book so hard. It took me like a few days even just to read like 100 pages. Yeah, I I don't like this book. I'll just say that right now. I don't like this book. I'm really tempted to just DNF this one and maybe just watch the movie because I want to know how this all plays out, but I don't I don't know, we'll see. I'm trying to like push myself to read it a little bit more right now. I guess out of the two-ish that I've read so far, Gone Girl is definitely my favorite because even though I have conflicted feelings about that one, like, it definitely kept me engaged the entire time. And this one, I'm just, like, I'm cringing so hard because Rachel, as the main protagonist, is a hot mess in not an endearing way. Like, she's a hot mess in a girl, like, I feel really bad for you and you need to get help kind of way. I guess let me run it back. So we have 3 technically POVs. I literally just got to the 3rd one that got introduced, but we have Rachel, who's technically the main character. She rides the same train every morning and night. She recently, not even recently, 2 years ago, got divorced because her husband was cheating on her, and she has not handled this well, which, I mean, fair. Like, your husband cheated on you. But the thing is, she had been struggling with, I think, alcohol addiction even prior to her divorce, and then things just really, like, hit the fan afterwards, and she got fired from her job, and she's living with someone that wasn't even like a close friend, but like she's been living with her since the divorce, and she's just been pretending to go to work because she doesn't want her friend to know that she got fired. It's just like a whole hot mess, and she like blacks out a lot because of the alcohol, so she'll do like really like kind of messed up things and then not remember it, and it's getting a little bit repetitive, as far as, like, moving the story forward. Although, I mean, I'm sure that might be, like, a common thing that happens when you are suffering from alcohol addiction. But as far as, like, a plot device for this story, it's gotten really repetitive. And also, she's just, like, not likable. No one is likable. No one is likable in this at all, which I'm noticing that this is kind of a trend, at least, like, with Gone Girl and this. No one is likable, but at least with Gone Girl, like, the whole, like, setup was interesting. The mystery was interesting. It was just interesting to see, like, what was going on. But here, I don't even really care about the mystery that much. Like, so the mystery is that, and the other POV is this girl named Megan, who is living next door to the other POV, Anna, who is the woman that Rachel's ex-husband cheated on her with. Oh my god, this is getting kind of convoluted. But Megan disappeared, and everyone is trying to figure it out, and Rachel sees Megan and her husband, like, on the balcony every day because the train passes by their apartment, and she's, like, created this whole life for them in her head, and she feels like she knows them, but then she sees one day that Megan, it was kissing another guy on the balcony. So, anyways, I'm so bored with this story, and I don't really like anyone. I just want to know what's happening. Like, they haven't... The author hasn't done a good enough job in dropping the, like, mystery to keep me engaged, because all we know is that Megan's missing and nothing has really, like, come from that so far. We're not getting, like, any glimpses, or nothing's really, like, holding me to the story right now. So that's where I'm at. But I'm going to continue reading for now, and also lay here for the rest of the day. So, woohoo! I'll talk to y'all later.
Hello, it is Monday? Wow, I guess it is Monday. I finished, what was the book that I was reading? Oh, man. Oh, The Girl on the Train. I finished that last night, and it was, you know, I feel very indifferent towards it. To be honest, I think my biggest issue with this book was that it needed to pick a lane, because I was not thrilled, I was not stressed, I was not engaged with the mystery. None of that was happening. It felt like this book wanted to be not like a literary novel, but kind of like a deep dive into some kind of messed up characters, you know? And it tried to be both. It tried to, like, look at these characters, and then it also tried to set up, like, a thrilling mystery, and it just failed on both fronts, you know? It feels like the type of book, like, if Min Jin Lee or Ya Jiasi were to write a thriller novel, it would be like this, but way worse, right? Like, because obviously they're amazing writers. So, I mean, honestly, I'd read a thriller from any one of them. But that's what it felt like. It looked, you know how, like, both of those authors, like, have, you know, multi-POV characters that, like, take a deep and intimate look into their lives, and just, you know, that kind of slow paced story that's just looking at generations, or even just a small snapshot of someone's life, and they do it in such a, like, meaningful way, versus this book felt like it was maybe trying to do that, like, look at these 3 messed up women who have been deeply affected by things in their lives and trauma, but really failed at that. And then on top of that, the actual, like, thriller element of the story just was so boring. I mean, again, I'm new to this genre, so I don't really know. So I'm going to be comparing this a lot to Gone Girl, since I just read that. But with Gone Girl, like, at least there were, like, little drops of the mystery throughout that kept you engaged, that kept you thinking, okay, like, what the fuck is going on here? Here, like, none of that happened. And the plot twist, spoilers, I mean, I've been spoiling this entire time. So, the plot twist was that it was Rachel's ex-husband who murdered Megan. They were having an affair. I mean, of course, a man who cheats is always going to cheat. Am I right? But anyways, he was having an affair with her, and she ended up getting pregnant with his baby, and he killed her because she was gonna tell his wife or something like that. And this dude's been, like, nonstop lying his entire life. And I think that could have been a really interesting plot twist. But to be quite honest, I didn't see that coming. Not that I was, like, trying to figure out this mystery, because I just felt so detached from this story. But I didn't see that coming. Like, I don't think that was set up well. I just, like, it was so out of my mind that it would have been him. I don't know why. But when it happened, I was like, okay, yeah, I guess. But this dude has been lying, and like the whole situation with Rachel's blackouts is that she wasn't actually like being aggressive or abusive, like he was actually like abusing her and all of this other stuff. Like I just felt like this story could have been really interesting, but all of the pieces just did not come together well. It wasn't good. I ended up giving this one 2 stars. Yeah, so I have one more left. I have Big Little Lies left. Hello, sorry that I look a bit of a mess. I was cleaning my bathroom. But anyways, I'm 41% into the audiobook for Big Little Lies, and I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying this the most out of the 3 so far. Again, the like mystery part of it isn't super compelling, but I'm enjoying just like the like suburban school moms fighting. I don't know. And I think the characters are very interesting as well. So anyways, this is doing, well, I guess maybe this is a common trope with thriller, but it's doing a similar thing to the Guest List by Lucy Foley, where it sets up that there's been a murder at the beginning, but we don't know who's been murdered. We don't know who the murder is. So that's kind of the mystery element throughout this book. And presumably it involves one of 3 women. We have Celeste, who is a mother of 2 twin boys who are entering kindergarten. All of the parents involved in this situation are all parents of kindergartners. There's Celeste. She is a stay-at-home mother who was formerly a lawyer, and she's also kind of in a very toxic relationship with her husband. Like, they are both mutually abusive. I'd say probably him more than her, but she also anyway, so there's that's like kind of her plot line right now. We have, shoot, what's her name? Melinda, Melanie? I feel like it starts with an M. I don't know. I've forgotten what her name is, but she is this very like outspoken, outgoing woman who has Chloe, who is her 5-year-old in kindergarten. She also has another like 7-year-old boy, and then she also has a 14-year-old daughter named Abigail, who is the so it's her daughter from a previous relationship, and he got remarried and also has a kid who's in the same kindergarten as Chloe. So there's just like this intense thing going on, and she really doesn't like his new wife Bonnie, who's like very like younger than him and also very like a new age hippie type of person. And then the final like main protagonist, I guess, is Jane, who is new to this town, and she's young. She's 24 years old. She's a single mother. Again, her child is in kindergarten, and she's been kind of like ostracized a low-key because on like orientation day, another girl, the daughter of a woman named Renata, who's like a career woman, ended up saying that Jane's son like hurt her, and so there's just been like this animosity there because Jane, believed her son when he said that he didn't do it, and all of this. But anyways, she's been taken under the wing of Melinda, Melissa, Mary, whatever her name is, and Celeste. And so at least she's like with them. And yeah, with Jane, her whole deal is that I think something happened with the father of her kid. She's saying that it was a one-night stand, but I'm getting inclinations that she may have been raped. So I think that is her plot line. I'm really hoping that it's handled well, but yeah, it's very dramatic and kind of intense. But anyways, yeah, it's a lot of just interpersonal
things with the characters and like intra look at me using words, intrapersonal things amongst the parents and stuff, and interspersed is like interview with a lot of the people in the town and the police, because they're trying to figure out the murder, but we don't know who's been murdered or what's going on. So anyway, yeah, I'm 41%. I'm enjoying it, and that's all I gotta say right now. Hello, it is Thursday. It is a day. I don't know how long ago I started this, but it's done. I finished Big Little Lies yesterday, and wow. I was listening to the audiobook while I was driving around doing some errands, and I was like audibly gasping once we got to like the big reveal. I was like, oh shit. I ended up liking this one. For the most part, I think I'd give it like a 3.5 or 3.75. 3.75, because I'd give Gone Girl maybe like a 3.5, and I liked Big Little Lies a little bit more than Gone Girl. Big Little Lies gave me very much like Celeste Ng vibes, except Celeste Ng is the queen and she would write much better than this. But anyways, I liked all of the suburban drama. I like how everything unfolded. Yeah, I like that this kind of tried to tackle some serious issues like domestic violence and sexual assault, but it, especially on the sexual assault part, I don't know that it like quite got that right. But anyways, I'm not someone who could say whether or not it was done right or wrong. It just felt a little bit meh to me, but overall I thought it was a fun read. I will say something that I've noticed in all three of these books is like fat phobia is strong with all of these. Like, my God, is that just like a prerequisite to write? I don't know, I guess, is this like a domestic thriller? Are these domestic thrillers? I don't really know what these would be categorized as, but it just was a lot, and a lot of it was left unchallenged as well. So it just, I know, but all three of these books came out around 2014, 2015, so I guess that was like 7 years ago, 7 years ago. So like product of its time, but I don't know, I feel like even then, like, that wasn't that long ago. It felt kind of icky. Didn't like that. Obviously, all three of these books were extremely white. I mean, not surprised there. I kind of knew that going into it. But it's just interesting to see that these three, like, extremely popular thrillers that all got, like, relatively successful adaptations as well. Like, they just really lend into this whole like girl hate, fat phobia, kind of weird, just, I don't know, I didn't like it that much, to be quite honest. Like, even though I did like Big Little Lies the best out of all three of these, and I did enjoy my time reading it, I just feel like this, at least this type of thriller that these books are just not my vibe. I don't think. It's just not what I'm looking for. I just, yeah, didn't really like it that much. And I felt like all three of these kind of were trying to tackle somewhat serious issues and just kind of flopped at it. I don't know. I'm very curious to know, like, if y'all read these types of thrillers. I don't know, are they considered domestic thrillers? I'm not really sure what subcategory of thriller these three books are, but if you read books in the same vein, I'm curious, like, what your thoughts are on them, like, why you enjoy them, and also if they've gotten better over time. It's, I mean, again, like I said, these books came out like 6-7 years ago, so I'm curious to see if they've changed or something like that. I guess The Guest List by Lucy Foley is like somewhat similar to these books, but I just thought that was presented a lot better. I don't know. I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are. Any thriller recommendations, please drop them down below. I'm still very interested in exploring more of the thriller genre. My next video in this thriller taste test will be reading thrillers by Black authors. I'm excited for that. But yeah, that is all for this very extendedly long reading vlog. Took me a while there to get through these books, but here we are. Anyways, I will go ahead and see y'all in the next video. Like, subscribe, you know, all of that jazz. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye.